Welcome to this video. This is the Glow Theory podcast. I'm your host, Jay Marie, and I'm so glad that you are here watching. So obviously this podcast is about healing, it's about self-love, it's about relationships and, such things like that. And so today we are going to dive into something that is close to my heart. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this one. It's something that I have experienced over and over again, and I'm sure that many people have, and whoever is watching have as well, which is the beauty of reinventing yourself over and over and over again. And so if you're anything like me and you've gone through seasons of life, obviously, and seasons of these certain versions of you, and you came to a point where it's like, this one is not sitting right with me anymore. This version of me is just not who I want to be anymore. Maybe it was after a breakup, it was after, cutting off your friends, maybe it was after something big, like a big move or something that just inspired you to want to change this version of you. And that is where the reinvention begins. Okay, so we're gonna move on to segment 1. Why reinvention matters. So obviously the first thing that you should know is that you're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to change, you're meant to evolve, you're meant to grow as a person. Honestly, that's like the beautiful thing of life, where you are constantly changing and evolving and, trying to better yourself as a person and, change who you are and reinvent yourself multiple times over and over again, because that season has closed. And so now you're moving into a different season. I don't know, society makes it feel like we have to stick to like one identity and just be that person forever, which to me doesn't make sense. We are constantly changing and growing. Like, our brains are literally changing, our bodies are changing, our environments are changing. Why would we stay the same? Why would we stay the same person? Because sometimes each season of life just calls you to be something different, to be someone different, to reach out and not rediscover, but discover different aspects of you that you might have not even known about. And so for me, like, I definitely have been through a lot of reinventing and just changing who I am as a person to be better, to do better, to evolve, and explore different aspects of me that I didn't even know I had, or maybe I did, but I might have been too shy or too scared to discover those aspects of me. And it's like, I remind myself that every single version of me that might have been left in the past, or that I'm switching from, I just remind myself like it served its purpose and it's okay to close that chapter, move on, keep growing, keep healing, keep evolving into bigger and better and doing better, and growing into the best version of me that I can be. And for me, growing into the best version of me that I can be involves reinventing myself, rediscovering or newly discovering things about me, and changing up my style and changing up who I am as a person. I feel like there shouldn't be any shame into transforming or to growing and evolving and just being the best version of you that you can be. That's the fun thing about life. That's the beauty of life. You're discovering who you are constantly changing through your experiences and through what kind of is shaping you, and you're adapting, quite literally. And that is okay. That is amazing. We love that. And I feel like when you are changing and like reinventing yourself, the people that you were aligned with or used to align with, they're like, what the helly? What is this? Who is this? Why are you like this? And it's, it might make you want to, simmer down and try and be at that level so that they can still relate to you. But it's like, you don't have to do that. If they don't understand you, they don't want to get you because you're changing, you're transforming, they can leave. They can be in the past. They're in the past with that past version of you because they don't want to align with this newer version of you who's growing, who's changing, who's evolving. And that is okay. That is plenty okay. Because honestly, you just meet the right people at every single season of your life, to be honest. And some of them stick and some of them don't, and that is okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to segment 2. The process of reinvention. Okay, so let's break down like what reinvention is, because it's not like a cute little quick decision that just happens overnight. Like, obviously it's a process and it takes time to, start opening up who you are and evolving and changing and growing and da 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 da. Like, it takes a decent amount of time. And that process being, it usually starts with some sort of trigger. So like I was saying, it might be from a breakup, it might be from a big move, or cutting off a friend, or just something drastically changing in your life that was so attached to you as a person. And maybe it's even a job. It's like situations where you just feel like stuck, and it's like, it's like a little soul whisper, like, we need to change. There's something about this environment that needs to change, whether that be the environment or myself. Something's got to change. So the second phase of that is the grief. This is the part that no one really talks about, because when you are changing as a person, it's like almost like a death. I'm not gonna lie, because it feels like you're losing yourself. You're changing, and it's just like this triggering portion is it's uncomfortable, and you don't know how to deal with it because you're so used to this said version of you, and you're trying to, come out of the shell and be something else, but it's so uncomfortable because it's new, it's fresh. And the body, the nervous system, the brain, it does not like new. It likes where it's comfortable. It likes where it knows the patterns and the decisions. It already knows its routine. So when you're trying to transition into someone new or change environments, it's scary. And it can be this overwhelming feeling of emotions and just like uncertainty. And, it's like you got to grieve that part, because it's just proof that you're just shedding old layers of you, and you're just you're discovering a newer version of you, newer environment of you. And yes, that is scary, but shit, it gotta happen. It gotta happen. Sometimes it does for people and sometimes it doesn't. But for me, I know that like when, for example, like a really triggering ending of a relationship that I had, it really triggered so much, which was, and I relate to this specific relationship because this one was the one that really helped me transform into the version I am today. And it just like, those first couple months were very like scary, and I was just like, trying to cling on to those old habits and those old wounds and cling on to what was comfortable already, because the change was scary. Everything around me was changing so quick, so fast. And I was like, I couldn't even catch a grip. Like I just had to go with the flow at this point. And, there were lots of moments of sadness and anger and confusion because everything is changing around me and I don't know how to deal with it. I couldn't control it. And that's the lesson right there. You can't really control sometimes what's going on. You just got to go with the flow and trust the process. And then that's where the experiment comes in, where you are discovering this new version of you after, that crazy whirlwind of shit that just took you left and right because, you're transitioning or, just shedding off layers, and you're finally in this space of acceptance, and you're like this newer version of you. And it's like, wow, and you start wanting to experiment your style, your hair, your makeup. You start wanting to check out new hobbies or dive into new hobbies and, just experience different things that you never did before. It's honestly like trying on different fonts until like the right one just feels like home. Like, yes, this is who I am, and that's the fun part. You're experimenting, you're trying new things, you're doing new things, and it's just, that's the beauty of it. The beauty of reinventing yourself. And then finally, the embodiment, where you are fully embodying this version of you, this newer version of you with full confidence, and you're sure and you're comfortable and you are authentic and you appreciate every aspect of you and the new things that you are rediscovering or newly discovering. And it's just chef's kiss, because it's like you're not pretending anymore. Now it's just who you are. This is who you are now. And that's how reinvention becomes power. And this is who you are for whatever season, for however long. It don't matter. You're not worried about it. You're not forcing it. You're just being. You're just existing as this newer version. And you accept that maybe, in a few years, months, whatever it is, you might change again. And that is okay. You might keep peeling off layers of you, and that is okay. But for now, you're just going to keep being this version of you for this season. Okay, we're going to move on to segment 3. which is overcoming resistance. Okay, so obviously here's the thing. Not everyone is gonna clap for your reinvention. Not everyone is gonna be like, woo, you did it, look at you, you're amazing, you're glowing, you're incredible, you look great. Not everybody is gonna be like that, like I was mentioning before. And sometimes it be the closest people to you, like friends, family, whatever it is, they are just like uncomfortable with this newer version of you. They're like, who is this? Like, we don't know this. We don't know how to align with this newer version of you. And that's just them resisting your growth. And that's honestly, that's okay. And it's not because they don't love you. It's because your change and your growth, it challenges their comfort zone. They're comfortable here, but you've elevated to here. You see, there's no alignment there. It's uncomfortable, you know, like I was saying, when you're shedding those layers, it's uncomfortable, it's scary. So obviously how they're feeling around you, it's like, you know, they don't know how to relate to that. They don't know how to get to that. Sometimes when you change and you get around these certain said people, it kind of is like putting up a mirror to them, especially when they are triggered and they're projecting onto you. It's like a mirror to them, and it's mirroring like, maybe these are some aspects that I should change, but you know, their egos and whatever not is afraid of that, is uncomfortable with that, and doesn't want to recognize that as something good. And will obviously, it'll just be negative, and it will feel negative and passive aggressive and come off as just rude and mean and whatever else, like their energy just switched up on you. Because not everyone is ready for that mirror. Not everyone is ready to see themselves in other people. Not everyone is ready to change and to grow, so they will project. And that is okay. That is okay. It's not your job to fix people. It's not your job to try and, you know, dim your light down again, get back to that zone of where they are and try and make them comfortable. You stay here. You stay comfortable here. And if they don't agree with that, they don't fuck with that, they don't like the mirror that's being that's being perceived, that's okay. That is okay, you know. And those are hard relationships, because when you're so, you know, aligned, when you were so aligned with that for so long, you were so comfortable with that, you know, obviously the love, especially if it's, you know, family, friends, it's hard to want to cut them off because their energy is not giving what it was, because you changed now, because you've grown now. And for me, I would say that was really difficult, because it's like I want to be, you know, loving and understanding and have them in my life, but if they are just so triggered by me and my existence and me changing and growing and elevating in my career, within myself, within what I'm doing, they're not for me. They don't want me to grow. They don't want me to evolve. They're not supportive of me, and that is okay. Maybe this season of time, you know, we just are just not aligning for now, and that is okay. And it was extremely hard, but you know what? I gotta do what I gotta do to protect my peace. But just a reminder, like, if you are in that space, you don't need permission to grow, you don't need permission to evolve or change, and you don't need to peel back yourself to that comfort zone that they are comfortable with, because they don't know how to deal with growth and change and evolving. Always protect your peace while you're transforming, while you're growing and evolving and becoming the best version of you that you could be. Always protect your peace, always choose you, always choose what is best for you and your life right now. Because I know growth does feel lonely before it's truly just liberating and just exciting, and brings more aligned people and opportunities and situations. And it's just that first little part of growing and healing and becoming and reinventing is like, oh my God, like because it's uncomfortable. And you're shedding these layers, and you're shedding these people and old habits and old wounds and old. You're getting rid of the old so that you can continue to bring in newer, fresher, you know. And it can get lonely when you're trying to protect your peace, but know that sometimes maybe this is the right direction. Maybe this, for this time being, this is how it needs to be. The solitude is for you to continue to grow on you and focus on reinventing who you are. Alrighty, we're gonna move on to segment number 4. So this one is practical ways to reinvent yourself. So it's like, how do you reinvent yourself in like real tangible ways? Okay, so I'm just gonna share like a few things that helped me, and hopefully this is something that you can take and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, that makes sense. So for me, it started with my environments, especially after like really intense situations that I had to cut out of my life. it started with my environment. I was like, I need to clean, I need to clean, I need to clean, declutter, get rid of everything. Because immediately when my mind is a mess, I need to fix the outside first, so that when I get into the inside, I can just relax and look around. It's like this peaceful sanctuary for me. So it's like, clear out your space, move furniture around, get new furniture if you want to, redecorate the room, redecorate your home, your apartment, your place, whatever it is. Do something like that, because I believe like when your space is fresh and everything is just, you know, clean, it's where it's supposed to, your mind follows. Okay, number 2, what I did was switch up my image quite a few times, actually, you know, experimenting with my hairstyles, experimenting with makeup, experimenting with clothes and my style and what I like to wear. And you know, when I look good, I feel good, I do good. So that's what I like to do. And I started experimenting and doing things to my image to make me feel good. Whether that be adding new pieces of clothing to your wardrobe, or doing a new skincare routine, buying new skincare. Y'all, I love skincare. I love skincare spas, whatever the fuck. And so, you know, I'd buy like new facial rollers, or, you know, the gua shas, and new serums and this, that, and the third, like just fun, like face mask and just stuff like that, that just, you know, made me feel good, made me want to feel good. And then I started creating like new habits for myself, whether that be, you know, when I wasn't working at the time and when I wasn't in school, it was just waking up at a certain time every single morning and having like a routine, making sure I wake up. I was like waking up, I would eat something quick, and then I would do like a workout, and then I would shower, get myself all ready for the day. I would do journaling, I would do meditating, and then probably around like lunchtime, you know, make myself a good homemade lunch, and then go for a walk. Yeah, come back in, do whatever chores I had to do, you know, tidying up and whatever the fuck. I would try to read for a certain amount of time. And basically I was just trying to plan for my future and figure out my next steps of where I wanted to go in life and what I wanted to do, manifesting. Yeah, that's basically what I was doing. Just setting myself a good routine that just kind of helped my mind, my body, you know, okay, we're gonna do this today. Boom, I felt good, I felt productive, I felt refreshed for that time being. Obviously, my morning habits and routines look a little bit differently, you know, with everything that I got going on, but that was something I was doing when I was freshly reinventing myself. Another thing that I did that was very important was the way I was speaking to myself and to other people. Because definitely I am my biggest inner critic, and I'm sure a lot of people are. And I would literally criticize myself over every little thing that I did wrong or thought was wrong. And I was switching up that mindset and, you know, started including affirmations to help me get out of that, to help my subconscious stop from criticizing myself for just being a human being, you know. And it's just like, that really was so helpful for me, because now, like, I'm more understanding of me and what I do. And if I fail, it's okay. And if I do something wrong, it's okay. If I slip up, it's okay. And, you know, really challenge that inner critic that I had within myself. And, you know, that's the self-love that comes in, and really helped me just, you know, appreciate me, appreciate my journey, appreciate the flow of life right now, and just be okay, be good, be grounded. We're good, okay? We don't gotta be perfect. And lastly, it's giving yourself permission to grow and explore, allowing yourself to change, allowing yourself to, you know, be a different person, allowing yourself to, discover a different style, discover a new hair, discover a new outfit, whatever it is, like allowing yourself to grow. And sometimes when we're so comfortable in these older versions of ourselves, it's like we don't want to change, or that inner critic is like, we don't want to do that, that's cringy, or we shouldn't do that, or, you know, like, should we do that? Like, just the questioning and the constant bickering in the mind. But it's like, allow yourself to just be free, Allow yourself to be authentic. Allow yourself to discover who you are as a person and change and be better and do better. It's okay. You don't need permission to change. You don't need permission to grow nor evolve, or simply just, discovering who you are. You don't need permission. That's the whole point of life. It's the whole point, to experience, to change, to grow, to discover, to reinvent yourself. So I'm gonna start closing up this episode. I'm really grateful that, whoever watched this. I hope this was something that was relatable and something that you can take and be like, yeah, you know what? Yes, I approve of this. I do this, or whatever the fuck, however you relate to this. Yeah, I just wanna say, reinventing yourself, it does not need an age requirement. It does not need permission from nobody. You're allowed to change who you are at any point in time, because we live through seasons. Hello, seasons of life. Of course, we're going to change and evolve and, rediscover ourselves, reinvent ourselves, and discover new things about us that we didn't even know. And that is okay. You don't need permission. You don't need to feel like, no, I shouldn't do that. Why? Why not? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you like the video, please like, comment good things, subscribe if you're new, if you want to stay tuned for more healing, more growing, more relationship topics, stuff like that. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.